How is it going, everyone? My name is Jeffrey. I'm a first-year graduate student here at VUSM in the medical physics program. I'm going to take you guys through a day in my life, show what the medical physics students get up to, where we like to hang out. Today's pretty exciting. We have a resident seminar, and then we get to go do a fluoroscopy lab. So it should be pretty good day. Yeah, I'm excited to take you guys along. All right, so right now I am headed to the radiation oncology classroom, which is in the basement of the cancer center. We are going to do the resident seminar, which I wanted to talk about because it's actually one of the best learning tools I've found. What the resident seminar is after we get done with our master's, we have a 2-year residency, or you can go do a PhD if that's what you choose. So these residents have to take their boards in order to be a certified medical physicist. What that means is they have to study lots, and one of the tools they use is to teach us material. So it helps the residents by teaching the students. They get lots of questions asked. They have to know their stuff pretty good. So we get to learn from them. So it's a great learning tool for the residents and for the students. We switch weekly. So this week is a therapy seminar, but next week will be a diagnostic. So the diagnostic residents will run next one. Today, I think Madison Metter is running the seminar, which is cool because she did the medical physics Instagram takeover 2 years ago. All right, so seminar was really good. We went over TG51, which is the task group that the AAPM put out for how linear accelerators are calibrated so that we can know how much dose we are delivering to patients. Madison led that. All the residents help out. It's like I was saying, super helpful thing. So next, the students we picked up our dosimeters because we work with radiation. So for the fluoroscopy lab today, we are gonna get a little bit of exposure, and that has to be monitored to make sure that we don't get too much radiation. All right, I figured I would show a little bit what campus looks like. This is kind of the hub for the medical physics students. Over that way, that is the main hospital area. That is where we just came from the seminar. Is Med Center North, and this is EBL. This is the Eskin Biomedical Library. This is where a lot of the students spend time studying. So that is where I am headed right now. I'm meeting up with the other students because we have a project that we are all doing together. So we'll talk more about the project when I get in there. Okay, change of plans. Instead of going to EBL, we actually came to Med Center North. We're in one of the auditoriums in the radiology department. We are meeting up with all of the students. We are doing a shielding project together. So we're gonna design a hypothetical vault for a linear accelerator. So that is what we are meeting up to discuss before the fluoroscopy lab. All right, we are all leaded up for the fluoro lab. Yeah. Yep, pretty drippy. All right, guys, Dr. Carver, who teaches our diagnostic class, is gonna explain a little bit. So this is Dr. Carver.
Hi. Yeah, all right, so we just tested a fluoroscopy unit. This particular unit is an under-table unit, so it's got the x-ray source at the bottom and our detector on the top. So we just tested image quality. We also did intrinsic exposure rate, which is a patient safety metric. We also measured cumulative air turma. So basically lots of physics testing on the device, and hopefully everybody learned something.
Definitely, lots of fun.
All right.
All right, so that is my day on campus. My plan now is to head back to the apartment, and I'm just gonna sit down and try to answer some questions that have been asked by you guys, and also answer some of the questions that I had when I was applying I am on the roof of my apartment. I think you can see a little bit of Nashville. I thought it was a cool spot. So I'm going to just sit down and answer some questions about the program. So one person asked kind of what's the balance between research classes and working in the clinic. So for the first years, it's a lot of classwork to start. We do get to do the cool labs, like the Flora lab that we did today. So even if you're on the therapy or the diagnostic track, the first year didactics are all the same. So that means even though I'm on the therapy track, I'm actually still taking the diagnostic imaging classes, and it's not until the second year that we specialize a little bit more. So the way the program is set up is that we can either specialize more clinically or into more of a research. And you do that specialization through research, doing a master's thesis. So, or you can do extra clinical practicums to be a little more clinically focused. So even if you choose the master's route, then you still get one summer practicum. So this summer I will be in the clinic for therapy, shadowing physicists and learning in that environment. And then the other question someone asked me was what I wanted to do after I finished my master's, and that kind of ties into the master's thesis. It's an option. It's something I'm still considering. I'm leaning to doing the thesis because that sets me up for doing a PhD if I choose, or I can still get a residency. That's kind of the decision point there. The next thing I got asked was what my favorite thing about Nashville is. I would say that I think there's always stuff going on. I think it can get relatively expensive if you're always going to Broadway. There's obviously great bars, good music, good food. You can do that, but I think there's also good opportunities for less expensive, fun things to do. For example, the other day in Centennial Park, there was a free entry concert where new musicians were able to perform. So there's always stuff going on, is what I would say about Nashville that I like. Other thing I wanted to shout out about VUSM more broadly is that it seems like they tried to do a really good job of hosting and planning activities for the students. So for example, the first week here, we had a great orientation, and then we all went out to a bar and to this bowling place. It was so much fun. And even tomorrow, they are hosting a tailgate, and then we get to go to the Vandy versus Mizzou football game. So I think they do a really good job of encouraging a good culture and community here among the PDPs, the professional degree programs at VUSM. And within medical physics, especially, the other cool thing we did the other day was we went on a whitewater rafting trip. So some of the faculty came, a lot of the students and the residents came. It was a lot of fun. So there's encouragement towards doing stuff as a community at this school, I think. When I was applying and when I accepted, I had so many questions about the finances and the housing. I was on the West Coast, so I was very far away, and it was stressful getting an apartment. I will say that once you accept, I think that the financial aid director for VUSM, Heather Boutel, she does a great job. She makes sure that we know her name, and she really answers any questions. So it was a lot of stress off of me once you accept. They do a really good job of walking you through. They give you good resources for finding housing, especially if you're far away, because it's hard to know the area before you come here. So I think that they helped out with that. Other thing that I wanted to talk about was the size of our cohort in our classes. So this year there are 8 students in our class, which is historically the largest. The past cohorts have had closer to 2 students. So what this really does is encourages a culture of working and learning together as a group and as a team, which I think is very representative of the medical physics role, because it is such a cross-functional position where you're communicating and working with physicians, nurses, technicians, and explaining concepts to patients. So you have to really know how to work together. And I think that's something the size of the cohort really encourages, as well as there being a great faculty to student ratio. I've found the faculty are always available when you need them, to be able to talk to them about classes, or just in general, if you have career advice or whatnot, they'll answer questions about that too. All right now I am at Sound Stadium. I just picked up my bib number for the Nashville Half Marathon tomorrow. So that is another thing that I wanted to talk about, is even though you're busy, you're in grad school, time commitment wise, you're looking minimum 40 hours a week of studying and learning, going to classes, but you still have time for your hobbies, your interests, especially if you prioritize it. That's something for me that I found in my gap year. There are things I do that make me feel fulfilled, and I don't feel like grad school has diminished my ability to pursue those interests and hobbies of mine. So that's something that's very important for quality of life. And I think even though you're very busy, you still have time to do the things you enjoy and that make your heart full outside of your academics. Is going to wrap up a day in my life as a Vanderbilt medical physics grad student. I'm sure most of the people watching this are prospective students, so I wanted to remind you that the deadline for application is going to be the 15th of December. Sabrina, our program manager, is hosting an info session on the 19th of November. I think you can sign up at this link somewhere on the screen. I wanted to also say, please do not hesitate to reach out to me on Insta at jeffrey.andrews. I'd be happy to answer any more questions you may have about Nashville or the program. You can also reach out to VU Medicine to get in contact with one of the students here. I think Vanderbilt is a really strong program. I definitely recommend accepting, going through the interview process. It's all worth it in the end. It's a very strong program, and I'm happy to be here. Thank you guys.